robbed, getting stoned, getting beat up, a broken bone, getting had, getting took. I tell you, folks, it's harder than it looks. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. This is the Community Solutions Podcast. Jason Bradley and Richter from deep in the bowels of our underground lair, where we have formulated the master plan, whether we're going against the Russians or our own administration, I don't know.
Same difference as far as I'm concerned.
Well, yeah.
All on one side.
Right. There is that. I tell you this, for the first time in my life, you know, I can say I've never trusted the Russians. I've always hated the Soviet Union. I mean, need I say more than Rocky IV, right? or Red Dawn or whatever, you know,
or a gulag or two.
Yeah, exactly. 10 million deaths between friends?
Yeah.
You know,
statistic.
Yes. But I don't trust Russia, obviously. There's no reason for me to trust them. I've never trusted them. Anything that comes out from Russia, untrustworthy. However, for the first time, I think I can say I don't trust. I mean, there's been reasons not to trust my government before, but in this instance, I don't know who to believe.
Well,
none of them. None of the above.
Well, the constant saber rattling and the constant drumbeat that it's so sacred. If we have to protect democracy by protecting a country that's not a democracy.
Right. Well, neither are we.
Yeah, not anymore.
Well, never were.
Well, I mean, a republic then.
Yes.
But I mean, you know, if you look at Ukraine, they're a place where opposition has been shut down and so on and so forth. You know, there's going to be consequences here at home too, and I'm not sure. You know, Kamala Harris got on. They sent out an Amber Alert, and somebody found her, and she said that Europe's been at peace since the end of World War II. And I'm going, really? I remember Bosnia and Kosovo and Yugoslavia and the Iron Curtain.
Right. Milosevic.
Just Queen Airhead. I mean, it's just
wow.
I mean, just one of the stupidest comments you could possibly make from a stupid individual.
Right.
So and the more I listen to the same people who brought us Iraq and brought us all of that are the same people now saber rattling again. The same people who don't care about our border, care about a border thousands of miles away. You know, and if you disagree with them, you're a Russian agent. You know, it's Russian disinformation. We're back to that.
Right.
You're the dossier, Jay. If you don't, you know, see eye to eye with this. And you know, here's the thing about economic sanctions too. Do you expect Putin to just sit there and do nothing?
No.
I mean, there's going to be retaliation here. This is often a prelude to a war, as they go to war economically.
Right.
And you're going to see, I mean, to me, the way to go to defeat Russia is to produce our own energy and be independent and not have to buy things from them. Okay. I mean, that's how all it's going to do is hurt the Russian people and hurt the American people. It's not going to hurt the elites in either country. They'll be fine.
Right.
Joe Biden wants something. Somebody will be there to give it to him. Okay. So, it's mind-boggling. And quite frankly, I'd love to be in the White House right now and just shake my head and you wonder why you people are at 33%. And quite frankly, they're not that high. They're probably in the mid-teens, if you wanted to really be honest about it. I mean, I don't know anybody who's excited about Joe Biden. I honestly, I'm not sure. I'm not sure his family and friends would be in that category. But I don't know what to make of it. I mean, just think how many years, Jay, we spent carefully avoiding a war with Russia.
Oh, I know. You think about the Cold War and how long that lasted and the back and forth.
The chess games that were played.
Yeah.
But quite frankly, the Soviets didn't want war with the United States directly.
No.
Neither did we. And I think both sides knew it. I think they saber rattled.
Yeah.
But we played a game of chess and we won. I mean, ultimately we won, and that country broke up. That country, for a while changed, but ultimately it's faded back into its history, which is one of horrible governments, maybe the worst in the world.
Yeah, absolutely the worst in the world. And he said one of the greatest mistakes of Russian history is the breakup of the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should take him at his word. I mean, that is the worst government. I mean, I don't know, pick your poison, that or China, I guess, but
it's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, people would say the Nazis, but who's been in power a whole lot longer?
And who's killed millions more people?
Not even close.
Not even close.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like that's a contest, but
no.
I mean, Hitler was charged for 13 years?
Yeah.
I mean, compare that to how long, China's been a communist nation since after World War II, and since Chiang Kai-shek Mao was victorious there, and they all had to scoot to Taiwan. They've been a horrible government ever since. I mean, here's the thing. A strong, prosperous countries that are republics, is the best defense against anything.
Yes.
Ultimately that us being a stronger nation, our allies being a stronger, that means getting away from socialism, getting away from crumbling from within. And that's something our country just refuses to do. Our country is America's in decline. I mean, I hate saying that, but it's the truth.
Right.
Speaking of in decline, Jay, can I say something about? There's all these bills now. Now that the legislature is back in session, unfortunately for all of us here in Minnesota, there are all these bills that, of course, won't be voted on.
Right.
They'll be part of omnibus bills in May, so we won't know what passes. About no-knock warrants being declared illegal. Can I propose some legislation?
Okay.
You know what I'd like to propose?
That people serve their sentences?
Well...
that crimes are prosecuted? No legislation from the county attorney office?
That would be nice. I got a better idea.
Yeah.
How about we propose that anytime there is an incident out there, be it a school shooting or anything like that, you cannot pass any legislation relevant to that incident for like 60 or 90 days.
Okay.
There's a school shooting and right away there's a gun bill.
Yeah.
Which somebody already had written.
Right. It was just waiting for
waiting for the crisis.
Opportunity. Yeah.
It's like 9/11 happened, so somehow the Patriot Act gets passed. I mean,
right.
There's always wait for the crisis. That's when government comes in, be it COVID, be it whatever. We talk about no-knock warrants. Now, I don't really know. Here's the question I'd like to ask. A no-knock warrant. This was obviously asked for, signed off by a judge, so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. Why? Why doesn't our media, why don't we go to the judge and say, hey, why'd you sign a no-knock warrant here? What was the reason?
Right.
Or why do we use them? There's no curiosity. There's no answer. Just something happened. Pass something.
Right.
So where is the I don't know what the answer is, but where's the fact finding here on why this was? I mean, we understand that the victim was not the target of this supposedly, but I mean, who was and for what reason? I mean, I've been trying to find answers to that, and I can't find it. No one cares.
Yeah.
It's just something happened, push legislation again, and then no-knock warrants are going to go. It's going to end up in an omnibus bill in May. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, again, whether they're good, bad, ugly, necessary, unnecessary, Maybe there's something that needs to be, the standard for it needs to be higher. I don't know. But there is no, I don't know. The whole emotional knee-jerk reaction to something, it has to be legislated against. So politicians can't do this.
Right.
They can't do it under any circumstances. You cannot just all of a sudden pass a law because something happens you don't like. There's a bridge collapse. Oh, let's redo. No. Okay. I mean, I'm sorry. It's not the first time that's happened. Mm-hmm. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel. And I for the life of me, I just, our media too. Our media is just horse manure.
Yes.
Awful.
Absolutely.
Minnesota in particular is just putrid.
Yeah, it doesn't cover much of anything significant, and it definitely skews one way.
Well, it just, to me, it just does a lot of regurgitating of what government's doing. Not much in the way of analysis. I mean, we had John Augustine on the show a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. His analysis of bills that passed was better than anything I read anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was terrific in his group. And it's kind of like, where has this been? By the people who supposedly keep them honest.
Right.
So it's ugly. It's just all. But I want a cooling off period.
Yeah.
There's a 60-day cooling off period here that you can't pass. I don't care if there's a school shooting. I don't care if your hemorrhoids flare up. You can't do anything for 60 days. Okay?
Yeah.
So
I like that. Cooling off period.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, let's just stop, gather facts, debate, listen to what happened and why, and not just have some emotional reaction the way a junior high kid would react to something.
Right. Wow. So we're starting to come up with some statewide policy. That's
we are community solutions, Jay,
yes.
and people look to us for answers.
Right. The state is a little less of a community, but I think it works.
Well, I mean, so many of these things start off as local issues.
Yeah.
And then they just work their way up the chain, and the one size fits all.
Right.
Is what we end up getting imposed. But again, I go back to, I'm just using this no-knock warrant. I mean, I could find 100 different examples, but this no-knock warrant, all of a sudden, okay, it's banned no-knock warrants. Well,
it's a catchy,
wait a second.
Feel-good term. That's all it is.
Yeah, but I mean,
there may be some purpose to, like you say, limiting it or whatever.
Well,
but
I mean, these policies need to get reviewed and they need to get scrutinized. And I agree there.
But, I mean, you know how government works. It's like, it's all about branding and messaging. And so if you can make something sound scary, you can get rid of it. If you can make it sound like bubble gum and puppies, then everybody wants it. Oh, the Patriot Act. That's lovely. I'm a patriot. Let's sign the Patriot Act into law. No-knock warrants. Oh, we got to get rid of those. That's terrible.
Yeah, the Consumer's Bill of Rights.
Right.
I mean, it's just, well, there's a reason they spend millions of dollars on think tanks and focus groups, and the reason that people like Frank Luntz get a paycheck, because that's their whole job is to twist polls, find words that people react to well,
right.
Words that they don't. With all due respect, I mean, I think that funny thing is when it comes to you conservatives, I've always been lectured that they don't do that enough. I mean, why do you think conservatives lose the healthcare debate all the time? Because they don't talk in the right language.
Right.
Oh, we need tort reform. What the hell is that? No, it's not tort reform. It's lawsuit abuse reform.
Yeah. If they could provide this is what country music is so popular with people, with a lot of people, but conservatives seem to love country music. Country music's all about telling a story, but yet you put a conservative in a place of explaining a bill, all of a sudden they sound like Poindexter, and
they don't humanize it.
Yeah,
they don't
I don't want a
humanize it.
report. I want you to tell me what's in it and why it affects me. And they cannot seem to cross that barrier.
No, they're into facts. They're into numbers. They're into Jay. It's the same thing you and I talk about.
But it's not everybody. It's the people that are in leadership. It's the people that are elected. The everyday person, I think, wants to know it that way.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just something government does to some people. They're just embroiled in that stuff all day long that they lose their ability to. I think if you're in government long enough, no matter what side you're on, there's a certain amount of normalcy that you lose. Government becomes normal to you, and that's not good. Staffers and pundits and things like that. That's who you have conversations with. That's who sways you. And I think there's just, you lose reality when you're in that. I think when you're in a leadership position too, it's all about getting the votes. What do we have to do to get X amount of votes to pass this, or what do we have to add or take away? And I mean, winning becomes, the primary driver. So I think it's just, there's the ability to articulate something on a human being to human being level seems to be just falling by the wayside. I mean, what do you do?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll tell you what, though.
Yeah.
Tell you what I wouldn't do.
Are you going to guess a song? Is that what you're not going to do?
What was it again? What was the song title again?
That's what you're supposed to get.
Let me think. Buck Owens and the Buckaroos. No. It was Twisted Sister.
No.
Okay, I don't know.
Twisted Sister.
What's that one guy? Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Which I used to think was a person.
No, you did not think.
I did.
Zeppelin.
I thought
Really?
Led Zeppelin.
I mean,
was
I
a
thought
person.
Pink Floyd was a person when I was a young child, but I never
It's
did.
like,
I think Led Zeppelin was
Jimmy
a person.
Page of Led Zeppelin. I'm like, wait a minute. It's Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who the hell it is.
Oh, okay.
I forgot about it because you got me off into a tangent.
Sorry. It's a Long Way to the Top by AC/DC.
Hey, I said them.
No, you didn't.
I did too.
When?
Rewind I just said them. Or was it Lynyrd Skynyrd?
Yeah, you said Lynyrd Skynyrd.
No, I think I said AC/DC in there because I talked about electricity. Pretty sure I said that.
Oh my goodness.
I know it's Agnes, right? The one Agnes guy?
Angus, yeah.
Angus,
like
like
the
a burger?
cow.
Oh,
Yeah, like a
okay.
burger. Like a Scottish. I mean, they're from Australia, but Angus, you think of more of a Scottish kind of guy.
Good day.
Yeah, that's.
Is that
Australia.
Scottish? Oh,
That's
I
Australia.
thought you said it was Australia.
Yeah, that's where they're from, is Australia. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, I picked that song because our subject matter today, and this is where you're going.
Is it? I have to?
Well, part of it's because he wears a schoolboy outfit. I mean, Agnes does, and then the other part of it, this song is about how when you used to get signed to a record label, and probably to some degree it's still true. They would take you in and they'd feed you and make you feel like $1 million, and then all of a sudden you're out on the road and you're getting lied to and stolen from, and you'd come back off the road feeling like you'd been through a war. Well, it's kind of the same thing when you're dealing with today's subject matter. They make you feel all warm and fuzzy, like they're doing something great for your children, and then you find out they've been indoctrinating them the whole time while kicking you in the teeth.
Well,
So
here's the thing.
yes.
The thing. There's nothing good about what we're talking about. There's nothing good. It's one of these things that I think is starting to boomerang in public education. But, an equity plan, an equity blah, 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 I guarantee you, no matter what school district you're in, no matter what state, no matter what part of the country,
Yes.
the reddest area in the middle of Idaho, their schools have an equity plan, Jay.
Yeah.
And you are one of the first people I have ever heard to articulate very well the difference between equality and equity. I think people don't grasp the huge difference between those two words.
There is a very large difference between those two words.
Yeah, I mean, they are not the same. They aren't close to the same.
No, they're not. Equity, or let's start with equality. Equality is the equal opportunity to achieve. Equality, it is no respecter of persons. Everybody has that opportunity to work hard, to get a good education, and to make something of themselves. It does not, however, guarantee outcomes, which is what equity tries to do. I think I explained it once this way, didn't I? Equality, you have equality and equity next to each other. And let's say opportunity is just over the fence. You're in a yard, you got a fence in between the two, equality and equity. And the guy with the equality happens to be tall enough to see over the fence, right? The equality, well, that guy is short, and he just doesn't have the opportunity. So the government gives him a box big enough for him to be able to see over the fence, so that they both can partake. Equality is the equalization of the opportunity, while equity is the equalization of the outcome.
Now, Jay, I have to stop you there.
Yes.
Can we admit right now that that's not possible?
That is not possible. I mean, just on its face, people who are given something are never going to appreciate it the way that somebody who earns it will.
Well, that's true, but also I always use sports as an analogy.
Yes.
And I like to use baseball because that's always been my favorite sport. And they always use the example of being a baseball coach.
Yes.
If I'm the coach of a baseball team, is it my job to make everybody have the same batting average?
No.
Equity all around. Is it my job that everybody runs at the exact same speed? Or is it my job to take people's skills and put them in positions to succeed? I got a kid who's fast. I put him in center field and I bat him leadoff.
How many times did Al Newman complain about his number of home runs?
No, but he had a role to play, and he had a manager that did a good job.
Won a World Series.
Two of them. He was on both teams. I mean, there's the idea that everybody's going to have the same math score, or that everyone's going to have the same ability to everybody has talent that is different. Some kids are great at art. Some kids are great at math. Some kids have great memories and they're good at this. I mean, the idea that you're going to equalize outcomes among all of these people who are different, some kids work harder than others.
Right.
I'm sorry to say that's real life too. How many jobs do you have where everybody works equally hard and is equally good? Impossible. So the whole premise of this, and maybe this is the point, that we'll never get there.
Yeah.
So we can always continue to do, because we just haven't achieved yet.
Right.
That achievement gap that we identified in the 90s is no better than it is now. Despite all the money we've thrown at it, all of the foundations giving money away and then writing it off on their taxes, and all of it's been for naught.
Yes.
It's done nothing. In fact, it's probably gone in the opposite direction in many cases.
Well, I mean, we're doing a lot less math and reading, and
we don't have time for that, Jay.
We have to see how people feel. We have to learn about our emotions.
2 + 2. How do you feel about that being 4? That's what I want to know, Jay. I mean, is that is 4 racist? You know, I mean, it is four. Three. You know, you can't have a 3 + 2 is not fair because there's 3 on one side and 2 on the other.
Right. It's not equal.
So the 2 people have to get a participation trophy, or maybe the 2 will be white, so they're white supremacy over the 3 that, you know, make the 3 minorities, so that, you know, I mean, it's gotten to a level that's honestly beyond ridiculousness. And Minnesota schools over the past few years have been spending huge on this stuff.
Oh, yes.
Big time money. And I'm going to go back to last summer just to start with this. This is from Alpha News. Minnesota schools spend big on equity consultants. The top beneficiaries seem to be the Equity Alliance Minnesota, group we're going to talk about, the Minnesota Education Equity Partnership. And let me just give you a few examples here. The Sartell St. Stephan School District entered into an $80,000 a year contract with Equity Alliance Minnesota.
Wow. That's big money.
Oh, I mean, that's at least a teacher and all their benefits and maybe a sub.
Right. How do you feel about your referendum money going there, parents?
Well, the district was charged $54,000 for an equity audit.
Oh, wow.
And another $40,000 for an equity action plan. So there's another $94,000 gone for an equity audit. So what would that consist of? I'm just equity audit.
Yeah. You know, it would never be good enough. I mean, that's the first rule.
Yeah.
You know, there's never enough equity, you know, and I would imagine there's never enough making white people feel bad for what has happened in history, that they're not doing enough to promote indigenous people. Just by it on its face, you have this word that they use, BIPOC, Black Indigenous People of Color. That automatically leaves white people out, which is racist in and of itself. But they love to use it. It's all over their equity stuff. You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've seen this, and we've gone over this in previous podcasts where we look at the things that they're putting in for equity, and we looked at some of the teachings that our teachers are getting through the teachers union when they go and take their in-service days, and they're, you know, go to their MEA conference every fall.
Yeah.
And we were shocked at how skewed and how racist these trainings are.
Well, and again, if our goal here is to get kids educated, okay, education should be colorblind.
Should be.
I mean, we're supposed to have, you know, these same people supposedly want a colorblind society where your race doesn't matter, your country of origin doesn't matter, your nationality doesn't matter, your gender doesn't matter. Yet everything's about race and gender, and I mean, all of this is about that.
Right.
You know, every drop of this has, whether that's curriculum, whether it's outcomes, whether it's testing, every single thing has got race somehow involved.
Yes.
So how do we do that when race is the only thing we're talking about?
It didn't used to be, and it seemed like things were getting a lot better. Now it seems, like you said, things are getting a lot worse, and the more we seem to talk about it, the more we focus on not being the same, and the more that we focus on it, the more it draws our attention away from other things, and including getting along. You know, it says in this article that the Equity Alliance Minnesota also offered to provide professional development services, presumably for teachers and staff, in which they would understand how culture, power, and race impact self and others. and learn to identify the impacts of racism and bias in and out of the classroom. According to one local news outlet, the cost of the contract was paid for with COVID-19 relief funds. COVID-19 relief funds are paying for part of this. And then the parents and community members, a lot of them were not happy with this. They were concerned about it. And it says here that an annual membership cost is $32,500. And you sign a 2-year contract, so it costs you $65,000.
Yeah, not to mention the
just to
equity
be part of
audit,
it.
the equity audits, and all of that on top of it. I'm sure. I mean,
Yeah,
equity consulting. In fact, if you go to their website, they do equityalliancemn.org. They do offer professional development, and that's where, of course, they come in and indoctrinate the teachers into this stuff.
right.
And the teachers aren't innocent in this. I mean, the teachers' unions, at least the leadership, has embraced all this stuff too. I don't know if the rank and file necessarily have, but the leadership has embraced all this equity crap, probably as a way to get more money, to hire more workers, get strength in numbers. But this, these, it's amazing. Here's what's amazing to me. And I'm just going to say this generally speaking. Why is it that all of these teachers with college degrees and master's degrees constantly need outside groups to come in and show them how to teach? Why is that? How much money is spent by all these districts on consultants and retraining? And it's just like, well, how many times is it? There it is. It's history.
Right.
Why does the teacher need to constantly be retrained? I mean, especially when you're teaching elementary kids. I mean,
Right.
does that really change? I mean, should it?
Not really.
I mean, obviously.
But you have to be taught how to do this part of it, because this is all, I don't want to say new, because really since the 90s this stuff has been going into our schools. But when we are talking about the levels of indoctrination that are happening now, I mean, there's all these schools of thought, that they have to.
Why do they need to pay $50,000 to somebody or something?
Because
like
it's
that?
a scam. That's why.
Yeah.
It's
It's like-
snake oil salesman. That's why.
I mean, what?
It's like,
$50,000 to get some cultural training. I mean,
yeah.
Cripe. I mean, that should go on for an entire year for that amount of money. Starting teacher's salary is less than that. I mean, it's kind of, why are districts doing this, though? I mean, ultimately, this is a decision by the school board, by administration. I mean, why are they doing this? I don't get what they think they're getting out of this.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I mean, what are the results? What are the results of these equity audits? I mean, they're probably designed so that everybody fails.
Oh, of course.
Everybody's not doing enough.
Nobody is woke enough. That's the scam.
So ultimately, it's going to show your district sucks. And
Yeah.
they aren't doing enough for gender binaries or
Right, exactly.
They're just not doing enough. I mean, we can always do more, and it's just not fair to, kids with English as their second language. We've got to, teach them a third language or something. I don't know. It just, you all know that there's going to be, as we call it in the corporate world, those are your opportunities.
Right. Well, I mean, and that's it. That's the whole audit, It's like, well, here's what you're doing, and here's what you could do better, and here's what you could do more of, and here's the trainings we offer you and the professional development we offer you. It's like when you have those roofing and siding companies come out after a storm, and you might have a roof that's 2 years old. Oh, I think I see some dings in that. We have an opportunity here to be able to replace your roof, and insurance is going to cover this. And I'm pretty sure that I see some dings in your siding as well. And so I think we need to look into this deeper. That's what this is. It's like it's like when you
remember they're saving you money though by stopping a problem.
Right.
It's like you go to Tires Plus. Every time you go to get your oil changed,
that's what
they
I was
try to
just
get you
gonna
to spend
say.
$600.
Yeah. Oh, your differential needs to be replaced. Oh, really?
Hey, you got a nick in your steering wheel. We better replace that before it rusts. That's why I don't go to Tires Plus anymore, because every time I do, they try to make me spend $1,000.
Yeah.
Well, EquityAllianceMN.org, folks. They are governed by a joint powers agreement with, just strangely, everybody on this board here, Jay, also holds a seat in local government. Another one of those.
Wow.
The chair, Michael, you going to try that last name? Michael Boguszewski.
Wait a second now. Where are you at?
The Joint Powers Board for the Equity Alliance Minnesota. I sent it to you earlier.
Okay. Hold on.
Michael Bogus. Perfect name. That's called Bogus. Michael Bogus.
Hold on.
Boguszewski.
Wow.
Is the chair from Roseville Area Schools.
Wow.
Now, I don't know what his job is there. It doesn't
Boguszewski.
say.
Yeah. Michael Boguszewski.
Then we have from Inver Grove Heights Schools, Mary Clary.
Mary Clardy.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah.
Mary
There's a D in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Linda Diaz from South St. Paul Schools. Okay. Jessica Ellison. I can handle that name.
Okay.
Any relation to Keith, I wonder? From White Bear Lake Area Schools. And Rob Raphael.
Yeah.
Donatello in there too? No. Rob is from Forest Lake Area Schools. Now, I don't know if they're board members. I don't know if they are school staff. But they all, of course, hold dual citizenship here on something else. And, of course, they bring this garbage back to their districts.
Yep. And don't forget Sebastian Witherspoon. He is not from another school district. It looks like he's an ex officio member, which means he doesn't really have the ability to make decisions. But what
the hell does that mean?
Well, somebody that usually sits on there as it's like an honorary spot.
Like a non-voting member or something like that? Okay. I like being voting members, so I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, me too.
And, of course, they've got their founders and supporters, the Bush Foundation. Isn't that one of your favorite?
That's good, right?
Addressing racial and wealth gaps. The F.R. Bigelow Foundation.
That sounds...
Is that Deuce Bigelow? Deuce Bigelow?
Bam Bam Bigelow.
Bam Bam Bigelow?
Yeah.
We've got the Mardag Foundation.
Yeah.
Of course, your favorite, the McKnight Foundation. They're involved in everything
absolutely.
horrible. The St. Paul Foundation. Now, is that the saint from that's St. Patrick's brother, or is that
I think
city?
the St. Paul from
so St. Paul just declared its own foundation.
Most of the New Testament. I think that's where the city is named after.
Oh, okay.
St. Paul, the St. Paul is rolling over in his grave. But
yeah, he's doing backflips. And the Minnesota Humanities Center.
Yes. Huh. Sounds like a great group. Thank you, Bush Foundation. Thank you, McKnight Foundation.
God, the McKnight Foundation. They're just saying, who is McKnight? I mean, who is that guy? I want to know who that guy is.
Well, maybe we should do a show on the McKnight Foundation.
Well, we've mentioned them before.
We've mentioned them a lot because they fund a lot of things. Their whole mission is to advance a more just, creative, and abundant future where people and planet thrive. So that tells you everything you need to know right there, that it's all about global warming and equity and
globalism.
Yes, globalism. Yes, absolutely. So,
okay, now I want to say something too. The Equity Alliance has equity reviews, and they have a process to do that. An equity review is a process that supports a district through a data-informed practices to guide decision-making, implementation, and action on how to develop a context-specific strategies to school and community concerns. Now, that is way too long of a sentence.
wow. Somebody came from business.
Yeah, no kidding. That is like over-word orgasms right there. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
That word salad says nothing.
That's just total corporate speak. And I see the C word in the next paragraph, Jay. Collaborative. If I see that word, collaborative and sustainable, if I see those two words, yeah, no kidding. Turn around, run so fast your shorts have to take another car home. The process will result in a comprehensive review that provides insight into current practices, educate on a is that systemic or systemic? Same difference.
Yeah, systemic.
And programmatic.
Yes.
What's a programmatic inequity?
That's where it's built into the program, just like systemic. It's built into the system.
So the system's just racist. I mean, it's just
system's racist and the program's racist.
So it just sits there. There's a program sitting in a box somewhere, and that's racist.
Right.
Wonderful. That's just
yes.
So the review, through a collaborative collection of multi-data points, qualitative and quantitative research, in identifying gaps, areas for growth, and strengths by, holy cow, I got to catch my breath. Walkthroughs at the classroom, school, and or district level. So we're all going to get around and we're all going to play duck, duck, gray duck, right?
I don't think that's what they mean by a walkthrough, but yes.
Of course, they got surveys, focus groups, community conversations. I mean, this whole page is...
So here's what they do. They write all of this in business speak to make it so complicated that people are left saying, what? After they read it. And then they sum it up at the end with Equity Alliance Minnesota recognizes that it is challenging for districts to do this alone. That is why we're here to support your work as a neutral partner to lead the work. Really, you're a neutral partner? Sounds like you have an agenda already. It's not neutral when you have an agenda. And open in the school systems, hey, let us come and help you. You have a problem. We happen to be the cure. What about that?
Yeah, but the problem, we can come in and help you, but it ain't for free.
No, absolutely not. Look at all that.
And I don't get it. Yes. If they've got the money of the Bush Foundation, the McKnight Foundation, why do they need to charge for this stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, if they've got hundreds of thousands of dollars...
And they are getting that from their member organizations.
Why is it then that they have to charge taxpayers? Because that's who ultimately is footing the bill.
Right.
Why do they have to charge for these things?
Oh, that's a great question that I just don't have the answer to.
Well, Jay, I want to say something too. They have all these surveys.
Oh.
Which they're very quiet about. You can't access them on their website, but you've accessed one of them.
How did that happen?
I don't know how that happened, but I say we take the survey.
Oh, we could do that. We've done that with other surveys on this program before and found out great things.
Now, is this survey that we got our hands on, who is that aimed after? Is that aimed at the parents or the kids?
That's it's called the Parent, Guardian, and Community Survey.
Okay, so the So it is aimed at. Why is it aimed at the parent? I mean, what are they trying to seek?
Well, everybody knows that it's the parents' fault that they can't raise their kids right, so that there's systemic racism, even though the system would be the problem, which would be the government and not the parents. But
yeah,
that's neither here nor there. Let's not talk about
system?
that. That's that is an inequity in their language that we won't discuss. If we're going to get rid of systemic racism, we got to go after the parents, not the system. So,
all right. Well, I just clicked on the first set of questions.
want to out the district this is for?
Sure, if you want to. I mean,
it says we want to know what you think about St. Anthony New Brighton
okay.
schools.
I let me go back. Okay.
Yes. In order to create an even gooder learning environment.
The goodest one.
Yes, yes. So, educational equity focuses on the goal of positive academic outcomes especially those from diverse backgrounds. So, especially those from diverse backgrounds. If Whitey lags behind, that's okay.
Right.
We're not as concerned about that. Educational equity is defined as each student receiving the support they need to be successful in school.
Which is BS.
To achieve educational equity, each student must have access to the challenging courses, active participation and engagement in cultural representation, and positive academic and social results.
Okay, so I want to stop you right there.
Yeah.
To achieve educational equity,
Yes.
they must have access to challenging courses. Is there a course that's like illegal for like an indigenous person or something to take?
Yeah. Obviously, they're not allowed to take physics or advanced placement American history. I think those are off limits.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just wondering who is denying them access to a challenging course?
Nobody.
I mean, a challenging course also is something you have to, you might have to advance into.
But we've heard this. Math is racist, right?
Well,
it's too hard for.
What we've also heard is schools doing away with the middle class, the high class, what we used to call the bonehead class.
Right.
Of course, you can't say bonehead class. I remember the teachers used to call it bonehead class when I went to school.
Well, I think it's amazing though,
because they're not racially diverse enough.
Right. So you have people like this that are just so benevolent that they see poor people as stupid.
Yes.
They see black and
They
brown and indigenous people as stupid, and
Well,
they
they
have to help them out because they're just not smart enough to get it.
Yeah, they see them as a group that they can create victims out of, and we now need to. And what a message to give to kids too. Mm-hmm. We want them to grow up in a country where they're judged by the content of their character. Instead, at 5, 6, 7 years old, they have labels placed on them.
Right.
Now, let me read the rest. Let me reread the rest of this.
Okay.
Active participation and engagement. Are people being denied to participating in education?
No.
So what's that supposed to mean? Who's being told, hey, no, you can't engage over here, but you can? Now, this is something that really, the last two are really, really eye-opening. Cultural representation. So you have to be, this is the definition of racism. Mm-hmm. You have to be taught, or every little group has to have their recognition, or, I mean, what does that mean exactly? I mean, we have to have an,
everybody's got to be represented, and it's not good enough just to have them in the class. You have to embrace and promote the differences between everybody. So you spend time.
You further division. It's
right.
Further division.
Yeah, that's absolutely it.
And each student must have positive academic and social results.
You can't ever guarantee that. You're going to have people that purposely underachieve. You're going to have people that are just not able to do calculus. I was one of them. I never went to calculus. You know why? Because I couldn't do it.
I did.
And then social results. You're going to have kids that
Can I say that? Can I say this?
they're weird.
Politically incorrectly. You're gonna have kids that are stupid. Can I just say that?
You'll have
You're gonna
that.
have kids that don't work hard.
You're going to have kids that don't wash their socks or whatever. And, you know.
And you're gonna have nerds in school. You're gonna have dirt balls. Okay, find me a school where everybody is. I mean,
even where I went to school, okay, we did not have.
Yeah, but there was only 12 people there.
There was a lot more than 12, but
All right,
we did not.
16.
We did not have a very diverse school, but we still had issues.
You mean you had a white
because-
school?
Yeah, it was pretty white.
Yeah.
Not completely, but it was
Right.
pretty white. And
Hey,
we
around
still
here
separated.
it was pretty white when I went too.
we
yeah.
still separated,
Sure.
based on those are the jocks, those are the burnouts, those are the
Those are the
you still
cheerleaders.
say that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or,
the gearheads.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly. Of course. I mean, factions happen. It's kind of like at the workplace. This group goes and has lunch together. This group goes and smokes together. I mean,
you force someone from drama club to hang out with somebody that rebuilds hot rods.
yeah, you know what's going to happen? A fight's going to break out. And I would bet not on the person in the drama club. Okay, but I mean, you don't. People with common interests hang out. People who play the same sport. I mean, I go back to when I was in high school. I was kind of friends with a lot of people, but my main friends were guys I played baseball and football with, and so on and so forth, and people who were my best friends growing up. And that was kind of my inner circle, and it wasn't that I hated everybody else. It was just. I had a graduating class of like 700 kids. I mean, I couldn't be best friends with all of them.
No.
So I just positive social results.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that one.
I mean, look, these are good things to strive for.
Sure.
But they're not good things.
I mean, you want kids to feel included. You don't want people bullied. You want kids to have friends and belong, but you can't force it.
In positive academic outcomes. I mean, Jay I'm famous for saying that I never did homework. I had 4 years of high school. I never took a book home. And I had a lot of positive outcomes, but some kids couldn't do that. And anytime I had to work hard, it was a problem.
Right.
So I was kind of lazy. And, but positive outcomes is just every kid starts from a different point too.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's just these quote unquote. And again, maybe this is the point that these goals are not possible. They cannot be reached.
Right. Absolutely.
So you'll always need these groups. You always need more. You can always do better.
Always.
I mean, are all the white kids failing? Well, then it's not good enough. When all the white kids get Fs. That's when
you can't give Fs anymore.
Okay, they get Z's then. Okay,
Yes.
Now we should know about this survey. Only Equity Alliance MN Minnesota staff will know how you answered. Huh? Yeah, right.
Yeah,
it's like putting your credit card online and no one sees it. Your answer, blah blah blah. There are no right or wrong answers.
Not for them, I'm sure.
There's always a right or wrong answer. They'll come to the district and go, see, you got a bunch of racist parents here.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, let's dive into this.
Oh, my word.
Oh,
I've been involved in creating or revisiting the school's vision for equity. Strongly agree, somewhat agree, neither agree, somewhat disagree, or strongly disagree.
Since I have no idea, should I put strongly agree? How about if I put agree and somewhat disagree? Where's the comment line? All right, I'm going to put neither agreed or disagree. Where's don't care?
Yeah, maybe that's the best way to answer all of these because I think you will find as we go through this, if it looks really bad, it will prove how much they're needed in the district.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
I have been asked by staff for input on how programs offered in the school are working. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What parent's been asked for input?
Yeah.
The parents find out about it when their kid's in 10th grade. That's what happens.
Right.
Strongly agree. My children.
Yeah.
Oh, children.
Has the opportunity to get to know other children's families. What if we don't want to?
Yeah, no
I
kidding.
don't know.
What if the Addams family lives down the street? Or the
Yeah.
Munsters? Strongly agree. I
Yeah.
believe my child's education is a partnership between the school and myself. Now, come on. I'm gonna disagree with that.
Yeah,
That's an area they need to work on. We'll see what the Equity Alliance says about reaching out to parents. I feel welcomed when I come to the school building. We have a federal government that is going after people who show up to school board meetings.
Yeah. Yeah, parents are never
Can I
invited.
write Merrick Garland in here somewhere? All right, next page.
Okay. If I wanted to discuss a program or process at the school, I would feel comfortable talking to a teacher, administrator, or school board member. I somewhat disagree with that.
Really? Okay. I'm going to somewhat agree. I feel very comfortable.
Yes, you should. If needed, I have the opportunity to communicate with my children's teachers. Neither agree or disagree. I don't think I've heard from the teacher much at all.
Huh, okay.
Here, no.
Strongly,
I have no idea.
strongly agree.
What should I say? Yeah.
Strongly agree. That's what I'm
Yeah,
doing.
you're gonna do that.
Yep, my children, I strongly agree with them. When my child first started at the school, we were connected with someone from the school that made us feel welcomed. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Who cares if you feel welcomed?
Yeah.
I mean, is the school there so the parent... Is this what the PTA used to do?
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
I think so. School communications are available in different languages or different formats if needed. Oh, I strongly agree.
Well, I know that you read Swahili, so I'm going to somewhat agree, though.
Okay, that's good.
I don't know why. That's just what I'm going to do. Please answer the following question about students.
For the purposes of the survey, marginalized identities include but are not limited to race, ethnicity, gender identity, sexual orientation, physical ability, cognitive impairment, socioeconomic status, language, religious identity, or immigration status.
Okay. Huh?
My child is safe when attending after-school programs and other school-sponsored activities. I'm going to say no.
That's right. I'm going to say somewhat disagree.
Yeah, that's good.
If needed, transportation is available for my child to attend after-school activities and extracurricular opportunities.
Huh.
Is there a taxi waiting for every kid there, Jay?
There might need to be.
I'm going to say somewhat disagree. I want more. We need light rail.
Yeah.
My child feels safe going to and coming from school.
Yeah. Well, neither agree or disagree on that.
I'm going to somewhat agree.
My child is doing academically challenging work at school.
From Alliance, Equity Alliance, Minnesota, that's probably the least challenging.
Right. My child has been encouraged to take advanced level coursework to stretch their level of academic rigor.
No, that's not diversity enough.
Right. Oh, here's your favorite.
Oh, God. Wait, hold on. Hold on. A public service announcement there to you soccer moms here. You might want to get a fan out.
Get a fan, cover your ears.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're gonna be in heat pretty soon. What's this say, Jay? I see one of our words.
Yes. My child has been encouraged to think about career
Oh, baby. Woo!
after high school.
You want to seduce a soccer mom, folks? You got to mention career path. Or what is the other one?
College readiness.
College readiness. Seriously, their glasses fog up. I mean, it's just incredible. I'm going to, what are we going to say for that one? Are we going to agree? Whoops, I answered the next question by mistake. I probably strongly disagree with it anyway.
Yeah.
Are we encouraged for career paths? We gotta have career paths.
Gotta have career paths.
My child's school does a good job supporting student marginal. You know what? Let's strongly
agree.
Strongly agree.
Oh, absolutely. School staff and teachers know my child by name.
You know what? If the principal doesn't know you, that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's true. Or it used to be that way. Going to the principal's office again.
My principals knew me.
I believe the school does.
I think my mom had her own parking lot spot.
I believe the school does all it can to help all children succeed.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I
They're
mean,
the best.
we got
appropriate technology to support and facilitate their learning.
No, we don't need more iPads.
Yeah. My child has access to the efficient internet at home.
So no Windows 95, Jay,
That's
like
right.
you've got.
That's right.
Oh, look at the next part.
It's an essay question. What suggestions do you have for how the school could better serve all children?
You gonna put get rid of Equity Alliance?
More concentration on core curriculum, less on social emotional learning.
I'm gonna write that.
Yeah. That's a racist answer, by the way. That's a wrong. They say there are no wrong answers. That's a wrong answer on this one.
Here's what I'm putting.
Yes.
More concentration on learning and less on social garbage. What else would you like to tell us about St. Anthony Upright School District? You suck. I don't have a kid there.
So,
how do you get there again? Where's New Brighton?
oh boy.
What else would I like to tell you? Oh boy, that's tough. How many words do we get?
Yeah. Listen to Community Solutions Minnesota podcast episode number. What is this going to be? 244.
244? Yeah.
Or 244.
They probably already do.
Oh, funny.
I'm not going to tell them anything. I don't want to tell them nothing. What are you going to tell them? You got to tell them something.
Do I have to tell them something?
You
I
have
don't know
to.
what we'll tell them here.
Oh, God, there's more questions.
They're not done yet? Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, this is going to out me here, too.
Oh, really? You're going to have to, I suppose you'll have to.
I'll just lie.
Names and
I'll
stuff.
just lie.
Well, does it ask for a child's name?
No, it asks how many kids I attend. What language do you speak at home? Pig Latin. I'll just write Pig Latin.
Pig Latin. Oh, my word.
You know what I'm going to put? I'm going to put North Dakotian. It's put near my language.
Pert near, yeah.
All right, I'll put English. How many kids do you have at area school? Should I say 7 or more?
7 or more.
That's
wow.
That's what I put. 7 or more. To which gender do you most identify?
Oh.
Okay, here's the choices.
I don't even want to hear this. I'm just gonna get mad.
Woman and man are on the list.
Oh wow, that's novel.
Transgender woman or man.
Ugh.
Non-binary or non-conforming. Gender queer. Sorry, I love the word queer. Or gender fluid. I've never heard this one. Two-spirit.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I skipped over one.
Oh, okay.
Agender. What's that? Is that like being asexual?
Yeah, I guess so. You don't have a gender? I don't get that one, but.
I prefer not to answer or gender not listed.
Gender not listed.
I'm going to put I'm a homosexual straight man becoming a woman tomorrow, but I'll identify as a man the day after.
Sparkle Dragon. Okay. That's fantastic there.
Listen to this question. Which of these best describes your current sexual orientation? Why is this your business?
Yes. Why don't they have an option for that? None of your business.
I'm putting that.
Is there a spot for that?
Well, no, but there's a comment that says gender not listed.
Oh, boy.
Why is this your business?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you Hispanics, latex, or
Latinx. Oh, they hate that.
What's Latinx mean?
That is, instead of Latina or Latino, they just do Latinx for everybody.
Oh, I see. So it's the non-binary.
Or Latinx or whatever, yes. Or as Joe Biden says, Latinx.
Thought that's what he uses when he cries.
Right.
A Latinx. I mean, what the hell? Why do they need to know? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I want to go back. Oh.
What?
Oh, damn it.
What happened?
Okay. I forgot about all the homosexual things.
Are you digging back into your past?
No.
Oh,
which best describes your current sexual orientation? Of course, it might change next week. Heterosexual, straight, asexual, bisexual, gay, lesbian, pansexual. What's that?
Has something to do with cooking.
Gets hot, it gets cold.
I don't know.
Queer.
You are like a little child.
Well, it says gay, lesbian, or queer. Why are they different?
I don't know. I can't answer.
Is it
that.
a queer gay?
I thought so.
Or it's a gay queer?
I don't know. That's this is why we need equity training, Andrew, because we can't answer this.
Oh, hold on.
What are you cackling
I want to
about?
look up pansexual.
Oh, that's probably good. Our listeners need to know what this is.
Okay. Pansexual, not limited in sexual choice with regard to biological sex, gender, or gender identity.
Huh.
I don't get it. Oh,
Read it again.
Well, here's another way of a pansexual. It says not limited in sexual choice with regard to sex, gender, or gender identity. Isn't that a bisexual?
Maybe. I guess maybe when you have all these other genders, it could be,
Oh, they
if
don't
you,
mind
if you have a sparkle dragon that's attracted to a genderless person. I mean, what is that? It's not really straight or homosexual, is it? Because
everybody needs their own group.
That's kind of where we've gone. It's ridiculous.
What is your race or ethnicity? They have to ask that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Hawaiian or Pacific Islander. Can't put honky there. All right. My survey's been filled out.
Has it? No. So that's good. They didn't ask for your name?
Oh, heck no.
Oh,
I wrote Jason Bradley out there.
Good. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, when they asked for more information on the school, I had written that I'm disappointed in my school district taking up this garbage rather than focusing on academics that will prepare them for life. So we'll see how that goes over. Yeah, so this is it. And so what they'll do with this is they're going to take all of these questions and they'll compile it in a way they'll be able to go back to the school district and say, look how much you need us. Look how much you need our services, because we can help you improve in this area, and this area, and this area, so that you can look socially acceptable to everybody in academia. I mean, that's really what it's about, Oh, our social acceptance score is blah, 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 blah. This is part of the whole move into the ESG scores. This takes care of the social end of that. And this is what we'll see in academics, in business. And this is going to be shoved upon us from every corner. And there's no way for us to get past it without meeting it head on, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, ugly. Just ugly. Just all ugly.
Right.
I hate every drop of this.
Yeah, I do too. I do as well. And I just, it's, but this is what's going on. We should mention before we go too far here that this is something that's going on all over the place. I mean, this is going on at Forest Lake area schools, Inver Grove Heights schools, Roseville, South St. Paul, White Bear Lake. This is something that they're looking to gain more and more and more districts in membership to this group.
Well, and not to mention whatever other groups are going to come. I mean, if it's not one, it's another.
Right. And somehow these groups just happen to get all this funding from groups like the McKnight Group or Foundation and the Bush Foundation and the whatever, the St. Paul Foundation. And, it's funny that one side seems to have all the money.
Yeah.
And one side, corporations are bad. Corporations are evil, but
no problem taking their money, right?
Right.
I mean, it's the truth.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, it's interesting to see the liberal position on corporations. First off, if corporations build solar panels, then they're great. If they build oil rigs, then they're bad.
Right.
First and foremost. Second, if a corporation, gives all its money to their causes, then corporation's just great. And
absolutely.
You talk about ESG scores and into banking, and look at all the banks that have gone woke. I follow General Motors on Twitter.
Yeah.
All they tweet out is stuff about climate change. It's the only thing they talk about.
Oh, absolutely.
They don't talk about cars
or
anything like that. Who's bailed them out a million times?
That's the thing.
United States taxpayers.
They're not going to get the funding anymore if they don't toe the line environmentally. And
yeah,
that's what they talk about.
Not going to get bailed out.
Right. And that's why you see these businesses that are tripping over themselves to be more environmentally friendly than the next one, to be more socially conscious than the next one. And that really is the problem. That is where we're headed. That is what we have to stand against. And we have to take a look at these companies that are doing this and choose something else. I'm not, I don't think we've ever called for a boycott on this show. I don't think we've ever done that. But I think I'm comfortable with saying, you know what? As capitalists, we need to learn to vote with our dollars. I love a classic Coke. I don't drink Coke anymore. I don't do it because they're trying to get their employees to act less white, because they're telling their law firm, if you don't send us more racially diverse lawyers, that we're going to change. We're not going to pay you what we said we'd pay you. And I'm not going to put up with it.
And, of course, they have the deep pockets, so you can say, well, sue them, but they can tie you up in court forever.
Absolutely. So,
I have come close, and I have not done it yet, I've banked at Wells Fargo my entire life.
Yeah.
Back when it was Norwest.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, my parents were there, and I remember I opened a checking account, and I have been banking. I've had the same account since I was 16.
Yeah.
And I have considered, I haven't done it yet, I've considered pulling my money out of there because of their stances on a lot of these issues. You know,
Right.
I mean, I'm a member of a credit union. I won't say which one. And I've pondered leaving Wells Fargo and just banking. And
Yep.
I would like to tell somebody at Wells Fargo this, that, I'm not happy with.
And you should.
Yeah.
And it's not about the big corporation because they could care less, but the local branches, they care.
Yeah, they
And
do.
the local Coca-Cola.
Store, it's probably a franchise.
Yeah.
They care too.
Right. Absolutely.
Unfortunately, there's strength in numbers, and unfortunately, I just, I think this stuff just may be too far gone. I mean, I know you're more of an optimist than I am, but
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way to turn around this, especially if the big banks are in it. Because if the big banks are all in it, Wells Fargo, Bank of Amigo,
Yeah.
all the big credit card companies all happen to be in Joe Biden's home state.
Right.
If they're all on Chase Manhattan and all those, if they're all on board with this, whoever controls the money, FDIC controls all those branches.
Yes.
I mean, credit unions and state banks, they don't. But how then is anybody? What's going to happen to the money supply? You want to start a new business, you want to get a loan for something. How do you break that cycle? If I were a state bank, you know what I'd be doing? I'd be advertising to come with me. I don't do this crap.
Right.
You know.
Unfortunately, right now, I mean, if you have to deal with the Federal Reserve at all,
You don't have to.
you don't have to. And local banks.
But see, local banks want to get big. They don't want to stay small. That's part
Right.
of the problem. They want to join the club. That is all of these big banks.
Right.
So I don't know how you break this. I mean, I really don't. I mean, but I would like to, somebody at Wells Fargo to explain to me why they're off doing this crap. And I mean, are you exempt by political donations?
No, I don't think they are. But I think if you wanted a loan, that eventually they will.
So if I want a car loan, okay, and are we going to get to the point where they won't loan for a certain type of car?
Yes, absolutely. At some point.
Well, they always
combustion
say in
engines will be
2040 or in 2050, but they never follow through on that stuff. So
gone. Right.
I don't know. If there's money to be made, I don't know.
Well, the problem is that these big companies are willing to take short-term losses
Yeah.
because they're going to get rid of their competition and they'll be the only game in town. That's the thing. You get rid of the ones who aren't going to play ball. And unfortunately, with the car companies, they're all playing ball. I think maybe Bugatti's the only one that's still up in the air, but who can afford that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's
It's
not even the 1%ers.
so you have when you have everybody in the tank, you need to have a capitalist that is willing to stand up and say, you know what, I can do this cheaper, I can do this better, I can do this more efficiently. And that's what's made this country great for so long is that the innovation that comes out of the private sector has taken care of those things. But unfortunately, because everything is government subsidized, from our education down to our business, down to everything else, that it just creates a whole bunch of mediocrity.
But again, maybe that's the point.
Oh, absolutely it is. Government gets in the middle of everything and it just muddies it up. And that's where we have to get that spirit back again. It's like, do we want to just go into this period of American mediocrity, or do we want to actually go back, like and get that spirit that we had back in the 20s, where we're just innovating and inventing and going back to the well to make this country great again. I mean, I really think to make America great again, we've got to have regular people standing up and doing things that have never been done before.
Well,
so
I don't know. Pardon me for being a pessimist, but
yeah.
but I mean, if we're gonna, if banks are going to make loans based on race or somebody's political opinion, again, if you qualify for the loan, it's shouldn't be
Right.
your color or gender shouldn't matter. I mean, again, we can't have a country that is looking at the content of people's character and looking at the color of their skin. That's not possible. Either we are segregationist or whatever you want to call it, or we're equal opportunity. And you hear equal opportunity lender, well, that's a lie.
Right.
I mean, then that's a complete and total lie.
Yeah.
I mean, why don't they just put a sign up? Whites need not apply.
Well, and someday that might be the case.
I think look, at some point, whites will be less than 50% of the population of this country.
Yeah.
That's the direction we're heading. It's not going to happen in our lifetime, but that's the direction we're heading. And as soon as somebody's not as soon as they're a minority,
Mm-hmm.
a majority can. I mean, this is what's happened. To look at income tax. Half the people in this country barely pay a nickel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's by design, so that they have no incentive. Half the people are living off the other half.
Yeah.
So what incentive is there to change that? None. So,
and you're putting people in power that want power. They're not going to give it up. They're not going to willingly go. They're so close, they think, to implementing everything that they've wanted to do since the 60s, that I don't see them willingly going into the sunset and retiring,
oh, goodness gracious.
You have this group of hippies that said, don't trust the man, don't become like the man, and they have become the man, and it's really rather frightening.
Yeah, I mean, frightening is one way to put it. I just think, God help us. I mean,
Well,
really.
he will if.
Well, again, Jay, like I said, you're more of an optimist than me.
Well, I have to be, otherwise, why are we doing what we're doing?
For money, that's why.
Well, that won't matter when the digital dollar rolls out, because
Yeah, you and your digital dollar.
yeah, it's coming. Unless we stand up to it, it's coming.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Well, I know that show is depressing, folks, and I know my attitude stinks too, but let me tell you something. This is why we have Mr. Optimistic here, Mr. Rally the Troops, giving us his sign-off sermon. Once again, Community Solutions presents Jet Flying, Limousine Riding, Wheelin' Dealin' Son of a Gun with the sign-off sermon SOS. Take it away, Jason Bradley.
Thank you, Andrew. And thank you, followers of the sign-off sermon. My faithful followers. I am so glad and thankful that you put your trust in us to come here and listen to us blab for an hour and a half every week. But it's our goal to make sure that we give you information that you need, that we tell you what's going on in this state. Because like I said before, this is not just happening at this handful of school districts. No, you can go to a school district out in the reddest of red areas and you can find equity coordinators that are being hired. And, it is a travesty what is happening in our schools. Here we go and we think about the hopes and dreams we have for our children. And we invest into the next generation, and we try to tell them, you can be anything that you want to be. All you have to do is work hard and keep your eyes on the prize, and so one day you will be able to make it work for you. You'll at least have an opportunity to make it work for you. But we're not trying to do that. We're trying to make it so that no matter what, that, you want to be a doctor? You can be a doctor. And it doesn't really matter if you know how to read or write, or if you can tell the difference between your hind end and an elbow. Why would you need to know that as a doctor anyways? That we need to give people their turn. We need to make sure that those who are underprivileged are able to do important things like work with the nuclear launch codes, or maybe be in the Secret Service, or be a brain surgeon, or even something maybe less complicated like being a dentist and having to put in fillings. I wouldn't want somebody to put fillings in my mouth if they didn't know how to do it properly. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's more important that my dentist buys into all of this equity and systemic racism theory that seems to be more important than skill, than passion. We're in trouble if we keep going down this road, because we want to feed into the next generation. We want to give them the best opportunity to, like I said, have this amazing renaissance of being able to create and innovate and invent. We're not going to do it by going to the middle and just being mushy, mediocre. We're only going to do it by standing tall and saying no. We don't accept this. We don't accept your social structures. We don't accept your social constructs. We don't accept your theories. We don't accept your hypotheses. We don't accept your postulations. We do not accept that we are a racist nation. We do not accept that our school districts have racism built into the structure, so that we need these people to come along and tell us how bad we are or how deficient we are. No, because for a long time, kids have been getting so much better about, even at younger ages, accepting people that look different than them, that act different than them. This is the path that we were on, and we had people come along, and because they were unable to create a subculture of rebellion out of the working class in this country, the Marxists decided they needed to create a subculture of rebellion through the race system. And so they did. And here we are. We can't allow this to continue, however, because this trail, this path, only ends in defeat. And that's the path we're on, America. Is that really what we're interested in? We want our children to have the best. Unfortunately, we're at a place where if the parents and the grandparents don't stand up right now, don't stand up and say enough of this, enough of this made-up baloney, that this is exactly what we're going to get more of. We have to sacrifice for our children. And we do it every day in small ways. Sometimes we do it in big ways, whether it's donating an organ or or just holding their hand as we walk them across the street, or not letting them eat candy before bed. You know, we do things for our children that are good for them. But we're in a period where we really need to look at sacrificing. I know some of us, not me, but there are some that are a little older that are looking forward to a retirement and just being able to enjoy their golden years. There are not going to be many golden years to enjoy because of the track that we are on in this country. Inflation is going to continue. It's going to be harder to get a hold of a loan. It's going to be harder to be able to afford food and gas. We're going to see shortages of food. Our shelves are already empty. How much less can we have? I went to go find water last night. There was no water to be found on any of the shelves. So what are we going to do to change that? We have to be willing to step into a role that maybe we didn't see ourselves in. But you know what? The people who fought in the Revolutionary War didn't see themselves as ever having to go to war with the king. And then one day they did. One day it made sense to them. One day they decided, we need to be free. We need to be free of the oppression, the taxation without representation. And let me tell you, that still happens today. Even with electing leaders, we still are taxed without representation because so much of it comes through the unelected people in government. That happens at every level. We need to find people that have revolutionary ideas, people that are willing to do things differently than have ever been done before. We need people with a mind for business, a mind for government, a mind for family, a mind for arts and entertainment, a mind for the media, a mind to do church. Way different than we have ever done things before. Because that is the key to victory. We need people to stand up and say, I see what's going on. I'm not okay with it. And I'm willing to step in and do something. If that's you, please get a hold of us. You can do that at commsolutionsmn@gmail.com. That's commsolutionsmn@gmail.com, and we will be more than happy to talk with you. We will be more than happy to tell you all about how to run a great campaign to get into an elected seat. We can tell you about how to get appointed to something. We can tell you about how to start a podcast or a blog or you name it. This is the moment where we come together and we say no more. This is the moment where we get to say, I've had it. And I'm willing to do something differently. I'm willing to be that one that stands in the gap. Because that's all it is the ones and the twos and the threes that are willing to stand up on behalf of their community that are going to change it. You mark my words. Yeah, maybe I'm a little optimistic. But, these three things remain: faith, hope, and love. If you lose your faith and in your countrymen, and you lose your hope in the ability for us to turn it around, then what do we got left? There's not much but to live out some dystopian future. No, instead, when we ask for wisdom, we get wisdom. And we are able to make the changes. We can do that third thing. We can love. We can love our children, our grandchildren, our neighbors, our family enough to sacrifice and see these changes through. The world's waiting on you. So join us already, all right? We're here. We're waiting for you, waiting to welcome you with open arms into the family. We can do this. It's not going to be easy, but we can do this. We can't do it alone. We love you, Minnesota, but now it's your turn to get to work.